go, dude.
What's this song called?
Show your love.
It's gonna be tough to do today.
What's up, Robert? What's up, Randall? It's a snowy game on the Niners and Bills. I saw the Bills were just taking it to them. What's going on, Tim? Andy, what's going on? We do. Hello, Red Wave. That was our music. Yes. As we gather in, a new thing we're doing. We're just going to have music going for the first 2 minutes or so as everybody gets in here. Welcome in. This is Beware Bulldogs podcast. We're your hosts, Caleb Nail, Caleb Pletz. We've been out of commission the past couple weeks. Sorry about that. New baby, sick babies, sick wives. So we had to take care of the family past couple Sundays and previews and things like that. But thanks so much for putting up with that and us. And we're here. We're talking Fresno State into the regular season. We're going to talk UCLA recap. We're going to talk transfer portal. We haven't caught up with the basketball team yet, so we can do that as well. There's a lot going on, Caleb. But first, how you been, man? I know you've been catching up. You got a sick baby, but how's everybody doing? You guys doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing okay. I mean, had a nice Thanksgiving. My brother and his family came to town, so that was good to catch up with them. Unfortunately, had family pictures scheduled for 3:30 yesterday, so caught the second half on the radio while the photographer was taking pictures. So luckily, my family knew that was coming, so they were okay with it. But yeah, dealing with a sick kid now, which this is like the first time he's been sick. So uncharted waters. We're hoping that he sleeps well tonight. He's asleep right now, so hopefully he doesn't wake up screaming.
You're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. Also, a little whiskey goes a long way, my friend.
I've heard a lot of people say that, but I don't actually believe that people have done it. So,
man, I'm telling you, dude, it works. Just dip the pinky in. I mean, he's 7 months now, so he's a little bigger now. It's going to take a little more. Yeah. If you're in the chat, let us know where you're watching from. Welcome. And what we like to do, we like to enjoy a beverage as well. And so let us know what you're enjoying the show with. Margarita for me. Caleb, anything for you?
Just water. Try not to get sick after. I had my son basically in my face all day coughing on me, so it's probably going to happen, but just water for me.
Well, as Robert says, whiskey for you, not the baby. Dude, the fireball will kill. You got a cold, fireball will kill that right away. Okay. Yeah, I will say the the break, quote unquote break we had from Beware Bulldogs, was thinking a lot of what we can do for the pod and how we can improve. And to be honest, I was struggling with just the amount of time that was going into it, but I'm feeling rejuvenated now as we perfect timing into the football season, but I feel a little rejuvenated and I ready to grind a little bit, grow. We just hit 500 followers on YouTube, so congrats, Caleb, to that.
Right back at you.
Yeah, no, it's been a journey, and I'm ready to keep going, man. So, let's see. Clarence is enjoying some whiskey. Tim is in Glendale, Pasadena, enjoying a hot lemon water. Tim must have been at the game. Andy's in Layton with some sparkling water. Man, you guys are way better than me. You guys are healthy. Actually, I have some family. My mom is from Layton. Fun fact.
That's what I was just gonna say. I think that's like nail adjacent territory out there.
It's the other side of the family, my mom's side, but yes, I can't lie. Like I don't know if I've met Andy, but I know the Zonnefeldt name because my grandpa does work with them. So I don't know if I just gave anything away. No. Spencer's watching from his dorm, wondering why Keene can't seem to throw a pass more than 5 yards down the field and why we can't seem to run the ball. You and me both, Spence. You and me both. And Curtis is here from Dublin, California, enjoying tea. Clarence, it looks like it's just you and me that have an alcoholic beverage tonight. So cheers to that, my friend. Question of the day, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
How much money would it take you? You are a football player at Fresno State. How much money would it take in an NIL deal? How much money would it take you for you to enter the transfer portal and transfer? Everyone has a price, Caleb. I'm going to know yours.
That's a hard question. I mean, probably $250,000, $250,000 a year. I mean, that is substantial money. And I mean, that's a lot more than you're making with a degree from Fresno State right off the bat, respectfully to Fresno State. So, I mean, that's life-changing money potentially that if you're smart could certainly set you up for success. I mean, it all just depends on the kids or the students, background. They need the money to help family or who they really dreamt of playing for growing up. Because I mean, some guys that have always dreamt of being a Bulldog, maybe that doesn't matter as much. And then some guys, it's just a step to the next spot or to put on the best display to get to the NFL or whatever. So but I think if I had $250,000 a year, that would be tough to turn down.
You know what the average NIL deal is?
I have no idea.
Price? I read something and someone can fact check me on this. I think it's like $60. So I mean, you're most likely going to make $100 as a college kid. Now, granted, football players probably not so much. They're going to make more, but on average. So you have other sports bringing down the average, but it's around like $100. I think it's less than that. So we're going to have to, if we make any money off of the pod, might have to sign some NIL deals with some players and get them on here and $60, we can do it, right?
I think so. I mean, maybe to the strength program or something. We need to get our guys healthy and stronger.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about very briefly, Caleb. I want to talk about the UCLA game because it was the last game of the regular season. Didn't go well. You guys know this. Fresno State lost 20-13 to UCLA. Tim Skipper still has not beat UCLA. Saw a stat. I think he's 0-2 as a player, and now he's 0-1. and we ruined our 4-game winning streak over UCLA. Their coach, I believe, played against Skip and was 2-0 against Fresno State as a player. Now he's 1-0. So we're going to get to that. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about coaching and what goes on and what we think needs to happen. We want to hear from you guys. And then we're going to get to transfer portal. I did see in here from Tim. I hope you guys can cover some recruiting at the end. Players we should be watching with all the high school playoffs coming up. My bro was telling me about this Kerman quarterback who led them this year. Yeah, we're going to have Coach Damon Jenkins on. He's head coach at Kerman. I've had him on, and he's talked about his time at Fresno, but since he's coaching Kerman, go Lions, by the way, playing for state championship, D4 state championship. We're going to have him on, talk some more. But I have done a very poor job keeping up with high school football. I'm going to be honest. So I can't really tell you what exactly is going on. Hopefully, though, I can catch up now. Like I said, we're going to be grinding. Andy did plant some stuff for my grandpa. See, I knew. I kind of know what's going on. Randinger 64. Any chance Ryan Grubb comes back? I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, everything I've heard was he burned all the bridges on his way out, so that would be quite the surprise. Plus, probably taking a pay cut too. I mean, I imagine he's probably getting paid pretty well to be the OC for the Seahawks.
Hey, Seahawks not looking too bad either. Okay, let's jump into this game, shall we? Like I said, Fresno State falls to UCLA 2013. Our record goes from 6-5 to 6-6. We finished 500 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get to our responses on X from everybody. I did not put any out on Instagram, so I apologize about that. I did not have it downloaded since I got rid of social media for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. On X, Dan Marino. And look, this is free speech. We give everyone a platform here. Dan Marino, I hate Pat McCann. That is all.
I don't think McCann is really making any new friends here in the last 6 weeks.
I agree with that. It's gonna be tough for him. Here we go. So you guys can see this too. Sharing the screen. Sierra Nevada Sam. I did see him in the chat. Where have you guys been? He was there at the game in person. Stupid penalty at the end cost us. We have to get a new OC. Horrendous second half play calling. And I think the comment on there was first half too. I believe there was a comment on there, first half too. Single-use plastic. A long drive just to sit through that. Defense played really hard, but offense was stuck in the mud. Story of our season, seems like. Joshua, we need a new OC and HC head coach. I wonder how this team would have looked under Tedford. Any idea, Caleb? What do you think?
Well, I mean, a Jeff Tedford coach team is typically going to have all the little things buttoned up. I think a lot of the personal foul penalties are probably not going to happen. Or if they do early in the season, it gets eradicated quickly. So, yeah, I think that, some time, get clock management stuff is probably improved. And so, yeah, I think there's a good chance that there's probably at least 2 more wins in the win column.
I can't disagree with that. Curtis R., I know he's in the chat. Regarding the season, as awful as the season seems now, Washington State, pick 6, Hawaii, 2 big penalties on final drive, and UCLA, muffed punt, questionable roughing call, were all games for the taking. Just found a way to lose. But preseason, 8 to 9 wins was the thinking on the pod. And we didn't even get there. Dang, overshot it once again. Defense competed and showed up huge. Another questionable call. Roughing cost Dogs a real opportunity to come back, but the main culprit was the offense. Aside from the punt block, A face mask opportunity, and the last drive essentially did nothing all game. Also, which we're going to get to, losing Phoenix Jackson to the portal is a monumentally enormous loss. Wish him the best, but so bummed about this.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. We're going to say that for later. Rob, it would help to score touchdowns in the second half. The inability to score in the second half seems to be a trend for us this year. Caleb, it's been awful. The second half has been absolutely awful. Our ability to adjust has been awful. That's the only word I can think of. It's been awful, horrendous.
Yeah, it's been terrible. I think that obviously coming out of halftime, you get the ball. I mean, special teams was struggling. Also, I mean, the kick return game. I mean, we were never getting past the 25-yard line. So I know at least one time, they finally took a fair catch and took the ball to 25. But so I think that's part of it. Is we were never really starting in at least decent field position, like average, I guess I should say, at the 25, and then
I think our average was 13-yard line.
Yeah, which is terrible. So, I mean, McCann has to be able to string together a couple plays to get a first down. I mean, at a minimum, look, let's take the ball to 25 and let's just get a first down. And I mean, the second half was 6 punts in a row, I think, before the sad field goal at the end. So, yeah, it's hard to explain that away. And I mean, yeah, we've talked all season that obviously there's difficulties on the offensive line, but I mean, good play callers are able to use the strengths and avoid their own weaknesses. So McCann has shown that he is not that guy.
Austin Pantagus. Sorry, everybody. Pantagus. I'm going to butcher names. Coaching was too conservative the whole game, needed a new OC, and needed to feed Mac the ball more. Yeah, we're going to get to numbers in a sec. We'll save that. Ricky J, same story every week, it seems. But shout out lower sections 27-28 for showing up like Dylan Lynch today. I threw out my voice, but Red Wave made it worth it with the record playing. Because a truth seeker. Offensive line could not hold blocks, turnover. Defensive effort was good, but too many 3-and-outs. Yes. Same story every week, it seems like. Richie Rich, although I expected a loss, I didn't expect such a dismal offensive performance. Skip is a great guy, but he squandered his opportunity. Time to go in a new direction. Drip dropping. OC needed to go yesterday. Wasted season. I love Tedford, but man, leaving right at the beginning screwed us. What do you think about that, Caleb? You think that played a large part in what we're seeing right now or what we saw this whole season?
I think you could justify it that leaving right at the end, prevented an exodus to the portal. So, I mean, maybe Tedford was putting us in the best position possible given the circumstances. But, I think having...
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I think that having a defensive head coach leading a team that doesn't have a true offensive identity and a coordinator who was unproven, I think that Tedford and his experience as the offensive guru, he was able to overcome some deficiencies on the rest of the offensive coaching staff, which is very inexperienced. Contrasted to the defense, who, I mean, the whole season, the defense has been carrying this team. And it's like, gee, if we could just score 3 touchdowns, we would be in much better shape here. So I don't think that Tedford necessarily screwed us. I think that the offensive coaching staff was just pretty inferior from the beginning. And then when you have the guy that's kind of keeping it together, that's where it fell apart.
I don't know what happened in the locker room, and I could be completely wrong. But you know what I think happened? I think our coaching staff walked in on the whiteboard. They wrote down, here's what we're doing today, guys. This is what we need to do to win. And then at halftime, they went in and just underlined what they wrote in the first half. We got to do this. Stick to this, guys. Stick to it. Rather than erasing, making adjustments, and starting over. That's what it looked like. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get back to it. So I think leadership and lack of adjustment is a huge problem. Robert Polvido, if Skip gets the job, he must make changes at the offensive position. Keene can't be the quarterback next year, and a new OC is a must. What do you think about that, Caleb? Quarterback, Mikey Keene.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey is not good enough to overcome weaknesses on the offensive line. And so I think that he is a decent quarterback, but I mean, certainly not to a better conference than the Mountain West. I mean, there was some threads I was reading online that, Mikey's a FCS quarterback. And yeah, I think that I'm sure he would probably do decently well there. I mean, he looks, at the end of the day, I mean, extremely accurate, but I mean, when he's throwing like 50% checkdowns, like 50, probably more than that, he's throwing to his running back. Donaldson has 9 receptions. I mean, it's just crazy. So I mean, his stats are inflated, and it's just terrible. So, and just not elusive either. So. I'm hoping that he finds greener pastures elsewhere, and we can just get a whole offensive reset.
I'll save my piece for when we get to numbers, stats of the game. Bulldog Dad 1. Offense was never inspired to win. Very passive play calling. The defense actually did well to stop the bleeding, but you ask a lot of them if you're asking for basically shutouts.
Exactly.
At least the play calls were consistent all year. No question who needs to go. Time to go bowling.
That's a funny point. That is true. McCann stuck to his guns.
I know who that is. I'm not going to say who it is just because their name's not in their Twitter, so I'm not going to say it. But I know who that is. If you know who that is, that means kind of a lot coming from them. So let's just say it's someone close-ish to the program. So all right, what are you guys saying in the chat? Fire OC. Let's all move on. Real Fresno State fan. Randall, Tedford would have taken control of offense. Skipper has to rely on McCann. Very true. Mendoza, D85. No matter the opponent, Fresno State always found a way to be a little worse. Robert Perez, we don't make adjustments for the second half. I think they assume we can play the same and win, and that the other team won't make any adjustments. Yeah. Yep. Fresno State was almost as bad as the San Francisco 49ers this season. Bud, what's going on, Bud? That's about what Skipper said going into the half, that they just needed to stick with it. I was bummed to hear that, given what has happened in the second half lately and needing better adjustments. Yeah. Randall, but do we actually think we can get a better quarterback in the portal? Mikey protected the ball better second half of the year. A new OC might help Mikey. Mikey isn't good enough to overcome all the other issues, but is that a realistic expectation? Okay, let's do it. Let's have the Mikey conversation. Because I won't wait till the numbers. I think we can do better, but But to me, the change has to start leadership. And when I say leadership, in the office with the OC, quarterbacks coach, whoever's in charge of that. There was one play. This is some mechanic thing with Mikey, and we all know it's not there. But ball was snapped. He turned his feet and his entire body one direction, right to the one side of the field, and he's just staring, okay? And maybe he's going through his progressions. Then to get back to the other side of the field, he jumped in the air and completely pivoted jumped in the air, completely pivoted his body, and then threw it to the other side field. That's not how you do it. And so to me, there's lots of things that needs to be fixed, and those things are coaching things. So coaching staff has to change. Then two, I guess the next conversation to have, Caleb, about like, is Mikey the guy, is who's behind him. And I think Joshua Wood offers something that we need. And that is, with a poor offensive line, we need escapability. Joshua Wood brings that to the table. I want to see him play. I want to see a full body of work. We've seen him play, but I want to see a full body of work from Josh. So I honestly don't think we need to go to the portal to get a quarterback. I think Joshua Woods and Mandel, I'm happy with. I think we'll be okay. I mean, now I haven't seen them play all that often, so who knows? But with the escapability of Joshua Woods, I want to see a full body of work from him.
Yeah, I agree. I think after 2 full seasons of watching Mikey play, I think it's clear that he has 2 large physical deficiencies. One being like a minus arm strength, for grading on a plus minus scale. I mean, he doesn't have a strong arm. And so he's not able to, throw a deep ball. I mean, this year, Magdalena as a deep threat is like a huge weapon. I mean, if you put Mac on like a Derek Carr team, I mean, Derek's going to bomb it 60 yards and Mac's going to run under it and just burn his guy. So I think that with a different quarterback, that definitely opens up the play sheet, I think, because, I mean, Mikey basically has to launch it immediately as he catches it, because Mac is so quick, and I mean, you blink and he's 40 yards down the field. So yes, so he does not have a strong enough arm, I think, to really be a difference maker. And then like you said, with escapability and running ability, I mean, he just does not have a good ability to make a blitzing linebacker miss, or really anything in the backfield. And so if you don't have a plus arm, I mean, you better have plus legs, and he doesn't have either. So I think at this point, I mean, we've seen the best of Mikey, and I'd like to see what one of the talented younger guys have to offer, especially with Wood. I mean, Fresno State really hasn't had a quarterback that was run first. I mean, since the 80s and 90s, when they were running like T heavy. So yeah, I think that the future of the team is already on the roster.
There's another thing that maybe this is just beating a dead horse, but I was watching a YouTube Shorts the other day, and Cam Newton has a pod, and he did he had a short up where he was talking about a quarterback where everyone's saying, "Oh, it's the quarterback's fault," but in reality, it's the O-line's fault, but in reality, it was the quarterback's fault because of the blitzing linebackers. You have to see it. And so I was paying attention to this linebacker on UCLA. He's a walk-on. He's a stud. And then they also had a D tackle right in front of him. Mm-hmm. That is the linebacker we're calling out every play, letting everybody know where he's at. And Mikey should be watching him. He should see where the safeties are lined up. If it's soft coverage, press coverage, he should know all that pre-snap. And then he should look at the linebacker, snap it, and see where he goes. And a lot of the time when this guy blitzed, he held onto the ball. When you have blitzing linebackers, this is Mikey's bread and butter. Dump it down. That's what blitzing linebacker. Hey, Bryson, boom, here's 12 receptions. But he held on to the ball. We can't be doing that. Those are simple things that we should know how to do 12 games in. And he played last year. So to me, this is coaching. So we can say the O-line's bad. Yeah, they weren't that great this year. They weren't good. But at the same time, when you see blitzing linebackers, you got to see these things pre-snap and get rid of the ball. But I don't think we need to hit the portal. Do I think we can find one? Yes, I do. Granted, do we have the pool of Tedford to pull those quarterbacks? I don't know. Okay. Let's see what's everybody seeing. Can Wood throw? We haven't seen it. True. With a different quarterback, or Wood, Mandel, are fans going to be okay if we go 1-11 rebuilding? That's a good question. That's the thing. Like, we don't know. I haven't seen a full body of work. So, oh man, it's going to be tough. If Teddy would have those other two quarterbacks, we are better. I wouldn't have went out and got Mikey. Oh, he went out and got Mikey. That's right. So I see what he's saying. We went out and actually got Mikey when we had those quarterbacks. Fresno State has three three-star quarterbacks coming in next season. Braden Turner, Jonathan Kraft, and Daniel Gomez. Mandel is also a 3-star. Is Gomez committed?
I thought that he had decommitted because that's he's from Hanford, right?
I believe so. If that's the guy that I'm thinking about, I think he decommitted.
I believe.
But either way, we have two. Okay, let's get to numbers. Mikey Keene, 30 for 43, 219 yards, 1 touchdown. Joshua Wood went 0 for 1. No interceptions, Caleb. No interceptions.
Yeah, I guess that was the improvement, I guess, in the last 2 games. But, I mean, when you're averaging 5 yards, per completion, I don't think that's going to be enough to do it. It was funny on Joshua Wood's one pass attempt. I mean, the commentator on TV called it. He said, "Oh, look for them to throw the ball out of this package," and that's exactly what happened. So, I don't know whether that's just really good scouting by the announcer or that's just been kind of telegraphed up to this point because we haven't really seen Wood throw. So maybe they're just figuring, hey, he's due to finally throw one.
Right. Running the ball. 6 carries to Bryson Donaldson, 41 yards. 6 carries. Mac Delana had 1 carry for 20 yards. Jonathan Arsenault had a carry for 7 yards. Elijah Gilliam got 1 for 1 yard. And Mikey Keene was credited with 3 carries for -8 yards, a long of 2. Did Jake Tarwater really get a carry? Did I miss that?
I think that was on the blocked punt. Maybe he got credit for a rush. I mean, that was the craziest play or one of the crazier penalty plays I've ever seen. We'll talk about that later, but I don't know how you can justify running the ball with your running backs 9 times. And I mean, obviously they're wanting to lean on Donaldson. I mean, he's played his way into a starting role as a true freshman. I mean, we've seen the potential here. And I mean, when he was running the ball, I mean, he's averaging almost 7 yards a carry. So, I mean, it's not like he's getting stuffed in the backfield every time. So, it's extremely frustrating. I mean, the run pass balance is so bad. I mean, I'm sure that the justification is, the screen passes and the short passes are just like runs. But I mean, I really don't think I don't know if it functions like that. But that's obviously, I'm not a coach, but I mean, it's just incredibly frustrating. I mean, obviously Phoenix is gone. I mean, after the Colorado State game, I was telling people we need to back up the truck for Phoenix and for Donaldson. I mean, those are our 2 best players that we have going to the future. Obviously, too late for Phoenix, possibly. But, I mean, Bryson, we need to – what was that?
Not necessarily.
True. Hopefully, whoever the head coach is can convince him to stay. But I mean, those are the 2 most important guys, and we're only giving them 6 carries. I think is ridiculous.
It's mind-boggling to me. Like, to come off a game against Colorado State where you dominate on the ground with Bryson. And then you give him 6 carries. Hey, thanks for the hard work, Bryson. You crushed it. Here's 6 carries. What? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we don't know something injury-wise because he was banged up at the end of the Colorado State game. But, I mean, he certainly looked healthy. And I mean, he took a lot of hits on his on all his receptions. So yeah, I don't know if that's the reason.
Yeah, we have competent backs. I really like Jonathan Arsenault. He got 1 carry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what. Like, are we? I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what. Skip said he had a knee injury. Clarence says, and yeah, I know. He was a game time decision, but like he was in. If Donald's, what are we saving him for? Are we saving him for next year? And then was Gilliam hurt?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think that he just got replaced on the starting lineup with Donaldson.
Gilliam got 1 carry. What? Robert, nobody knows what we're doing, including the coaches. I don't know. Yeah. Who knows? And this is why I think it was a couple weeks ago, got everybody in the chat said, watch out, floodgates are going to open when the transfer portal comes, because we don't know what's going on. The kids, like, you can have a great relationship with coach, you have a great relationship with your employer, but if something better comes along, more money, more opportunity, you're going to take it. And after the game against Colorado State, I know for a fact Bryson was getting calls. 100%. So it wouldn't shock me at all if we lose a lot of players. A lot. Which is sad. I don't want that to happen. Okay, receiving. Magdalena, 7 receptions, 47 yards, led the team in yards, 47. Bryson Donaldson led the team in receptions with 9 for 44 yards. Shadon James, 1 reception for 38. It's nice to see him out there. Haven't seen him here, seems like. I don't think we've said his name once. Raylan Sharp, 4 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Richie Anderson, 2 for 23. Jalen Moss, 4 for 14. Jake Tarwater, 1 for 10. Elijah Gilliam, 2 for 8. 219 total receiving yards. Thoughts on the wide receivers, Caleb? Passing game?
Yeah, I would have liked to see Mac get more opportunities. I mean, I know that the stats really aren't important, but I know he was came up just shy of 1,000 receiving yards. I think he only needed 100 this game, and so came up short there. Richie Anderson looks like a bright spot. I mean, he's like actually athletic when he's running with the ball after he catches it. So I think for the future, that's a good outlook there. Between the other guys, Sharp had a costly drop early, but I mean, he also had a really nice catch in the end zone for the touchdown. So it's been about a usual performance for the Fresno State receivers, and I mean, stats wise, we really should take away all the running backs yards and just say, okay, we're going to consider those rushing yards. So I mean, if you're taking away another 50 yards. So, okay, Mikey threw for 160 yards. That's what I'm going to edit those stats to say.
It's true, man. We're not throwing anyone open. We're waiting until they are open to throw the ball to them. There's no reason with a wide receiver core like this that we should be throwing for 219 yards. I mean, these guys should have the ball in their hands all the time. Yeah, we should have 300, 400 yards a game. It's
right. And I think the other thing that was frustrating me is, on the UCLA defense, we're 49 and number 20. They're 2 really good linebacker. 20 might be a safety, but the guys that are in the middle of the field, I mean, that's where the majority of Mikey's throws are going, to the middle of the field, where their 2 best defenders are every play. And so I can't imagine that UCLA's corners are really any better than we've seen all season. So, I mean, I would have liked to see our receivers get a chance on the outside to beat the corners instead of throwing across the middle and 49 or 20 coming up and making a big hit. So it's just frustrating.
very. Bulldogs Bob. What's going on, Bulldogs Bob? Here he is. We cannot pass the ball because Keen isn't very good. Doesn't go through his feet. All teams need to do is drop 8 to stop him. We need a new quarterback. No deep balls, Randall says. Donaldson is local. Or Andy. Donaldson is local. He said he chose Fresno because he wants his family to be able to watch him. So who knows? All right. Come on. Just like I asked Mr. Pletz before. Everybody's got a price. Hope his is way higher than most people. Clarence, what was up with Sherrod all season? From what we know, just season-ending injury. So,
yeah, and he played 4 games, and supposedly he was able to redshirt. So he's going to be extending his collegiate career. So best of luck to him.
Hope he's effective for us next year. Defense, Caleb. Once again, the defense is the bright spot. Alzillian Hamilton led the team in tackles with 10 total, 7 solos. Dean Clark was right there, 6 solos, 10 total. We had 3 sacks. Dean had 1, Phoenix had 1, and then Devo and Jacob Holmes shared 1. 6 TFLs. We had no interceptions. And I don't remember us. We had 1. We forced 1 fumble. 2.
Yeah, the stat sheet's showing it, but I don't remember it.
I think I remember 1. But either way, defense I thought was good. Phoenix Jackson is an animal.
Mm-hmm.
But talk to me about the defense. What did you see? What did you like?
Yeah, defense played really well. Another game without Cam Lockridge, away for personal reasons. So, seems like his college career is done. So, we certainly wish him the best. So, Alzillian stepped up and Julian Neal stepped up. I think both did okay. AZ is a really good player, and he did make a lot of tackles this game. Dean Clark had a pretty good game. He also got beat by their tight end like 3 or 4 times, usually on 3rd down for big conversions. So I don't think coverage is really his strong suit. But coming up to the line and run stopping, I think he's doing a good job with that. So besides that, yeah, Phoenix had a really strong game. Could have had a pick. That would have changed things. And then defensive line, I think they got good pressure. We actually saw some activity on the stat sheet from Devo. I know sometimes we joke that he's kind of hidden, and maybe we just don't appreciate what he is doing. That we aren't seeing. But overall, I think good game for the defense. Only giving up 20 points. Most weeks that should be enough. I mean, the offense should be able to put up 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, we only gave up 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The defense is fine. And this is what worries me when we talk about head coaching and going on the head coaching search. And I don't know if this would happen or not. Maybe if Skip's a humble guy. I don't know him personally. I'd love to have Skip as the linebackers coach and have someone else be the head coach, because I'd love them to keep everybody. Otherwise, be careful. I got to be careful when I say that. I want a new head coach and a new OC, but everybody else I want to stay. And I want Skip to stay as linebackers coach. He's done a great job with the linebackers. The linebackers are the bright spot on the defense. They're so good. Phoenix, UCV, Malachi Langley. Oh my gosh, they're all great. I want them to stay. I want a head coach that comes in, can be the discipliner, can be the leader, knows how to do it. And then, of course, an OC. Because I want Jethro and JD and these guys here because they're doing such a good job. Our defense is good.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was a lot of fun to watch. My only thing was like Dean's got to get quicker, but this is it for him. We're getting beat by tight ends, big tight ends.
Yeah.
Also, I think in the stat book, Dylan Lynch recorded a tackle.
I think it was on the opening kickoff because it was one that it was a better return than should have been allowed.
Yeah. The second that happened, I said, oh boy, this is not going to be. Well, we got off to a good start. We were up 10-6 at halftime, and then we decided to not run the ball. On a special team.
should I guess, hang on, before we go on special team, should we give McCann credit for painstakingly getting the field goal right before halftime? Because, I mean, that was probably the only time that we've had a successful, 2-minute drive that got points. I mean, maybe we need to give him some credit there, but that was also a brutal drive. I mean, 5 yards at a time when you only have a minute, but credit to him. So sorry, wanted to say that before we go to special teams.
If it works, you do it. We got a field goal. We got points on the board. We've been struggling. You know what? Why don't we try that again? What? I don't know. I honestly, dude, this was the first year, and I think this was the first year ever I enjoyed watching other football teams play. Right? And we could talk about the coach who must not be named at Fresno State. By the way, I think he just got fired. Texas Tech. Yeah. But I was a student in the front row going crazy, so I was having a good time. I wasn't watching any other games. This was the first year I actually enjoyed watching other college football teams, and I didn't. It hurt me to watch us play. It was just bad. Okay. Special teams, and then we'll get to the chat. Jalen Moss, 3 kick returns for 42 yards, along of 18. He also had 1 punt return for 7. He also had a fumble.
A costly fumble.
What was that? A costly fumble. Yes. Oh, man. And then what else happened on special teams? Dylan Lynch, 2 for 2, long of 48, great kick. 1 for 1 on extra points. Clay Lawrence punted 7 times. I think he played the most out of anyone on the team. Down to 1 in the 20, had a long of 49. He averaged about 41 yards kick. Thoughts on special teams, Caleb?
The bright spot was
play.
Yeah. So, I mean, the bright spot was Dylan. I mean, made a long kick from the left hash. So, I mean, it helped to have perfect kicking conditions, but credit to him for converting on the points because, we certainly needed them. But, I mean, punt game was not good. I mean, Clay was not getting any hang time, and a lot of the first several punts were well short. And then we had the blocked punt, and then just that was probably one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen where we Tarwater recovers the fumble, then immediately gets face mashed. I mean, I think that was probably the other frustrating thing for this game is UCLA played really sloppy. I mean, they committed a lot of dumb penalties that kept us in this game, including that face mask. So it was very funny. I mean, I guess heads up play to grab the ball. I don't know if that's something that Baxter coached. I mean, he usually knows all the rules and is going to have the guys coached up pretty good on special teams. But very unusual play. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. But that was the touchdown drive, I think, right?
I don't remember.
I think it was, but anyways, it was just so bizarre. Punt game, not good, but Clay, we got a couple more years with him, so hopefully he's with the strength team in the offseason, getting that kicking leg a little stronger.
Yeah, it was a fun play. I was laughing out loud, that's for sure. Get into the chat. Clarence Coyle was the one bright spot on the coaching staff. Should be considered for head coach position. Okay, yeah, I don't mind. He's done a good job. Other than a couple games, there were a couple times where we were torched. But
yeah,
Bulldog Dad 1. Can an interim head coach fire an OC? If not, we didn't give Skip a real chance. Very true. Very true. I wouldn't mind them hiring Skip and then him doing his thing if he gets rid of him. Randall, I would not be surprised that Skip gets the job. It's a good financial move. Could allow a lot of players to stay. He can now choose the staff he wants. Give him a full shot. I don't disagree with that. Clarence, Skip had a chance. He's been with the team long enough, and he had a say in what players were brought in. Bulldog Dad won. McCant never runs the ball, even when it works. Ooh. Bulldogs Bob agrees with Randall. Let's give him a 2 to 3 prove-it contract. 7 out of 10 drives into punts, Randall says. Oh, my goodness. 7 out of 10. How about Tarwater not knowing he could advance the ball? I mean, I didn't know either. I had no. If it's behind the line of scrimmage, you can't advance. Clay's our best player. Yeah. Okay, Caleb. Season has come to a close. We finished the season 6-6. You and I projected 8-9 wins. We finished 2. Is that 2? Oh no, that's 2-4 away. What did we finish in conference?
4-3, which earned us a solo 4th place finish. Which, when you look at the entirety of the season, you would have thought much lower. But I think we can safely say this was a pretty down year for the Mountain West Conference. I mean, the 2 or maybe 3 top teams. I don't know if we put Colorado State up there because we beat them, but I think Boise and UNLV deserving to be in the conference championship game coming up this Friday. So it certainly doesn't feel like we finished 4th in the conference.
No, it feels a lot worse than that. What are you taking away from this season?
Well, depth. You have to have depth, and I think that if you're a program that heavily relies on transfers for help, it can go good if everyone stays healthy. And if people get hurt and you end up with a really thin O-line, you better have some depth. And I think that was evident here. I mean, some bright spots that were transfers. I mean, Tuasivi Nomura had a really strong year. But I mean, if you look at some of the backbone of the team, I mean, they're all program guys. Who've been here for 4, 5, 6 years. If you're thinking about guys like Malachi Langley, even Phoenix Jackson, I mean, I think he's 3rd-year guy in the program. Guy like Devo Bridges on the line, Gabriel Lightfoot, 3rd-year guy. So I mean, on the defense, I mean, we were anchored by program guys, and on the offense, a lot of skill guys, a handful that are have been developed here, a handful portal guys. So yeah, I think that we just have to be one of those schools that develops talent, and we'll see where the direction whoever the coaching staff is after the season.
It's so hard though, Caleb, because if we get good at developing talent, like other schools are going to take them.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. I think it's part of the job. You have to develop if you want to survive.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you look at a case like Phoenix, I mean, 2 years of development and he's turned into a stud. And I mean, if we get 1 year of having an awesome player, for a 2-year investment, I mean, I think that's worth it for a G5 program with limited NIL resources. I mean, that's just kind of the new game. And then, yeah, maybe if we have to be the one cherry picking from FCS and go find the stud somewhere else. I mean, find the walk-on. Like, I mean, UCLA's best player, their linebacker on defense, walk on like 5th-year guy, and so somehow he's like, going to win the whatever award they kept talking about on TV.
I think we said it last year or at the beginning of the season. We're going to have to pick something to be really good at, and I had said, well, the quarterback position. This is before Tedford left. We're going to be the G5 school where quarterbacks go. Now that has ended, but Boise has had running back after running back after running back, and pretty good linebackers and things like that. And Memphis has good running backs, and like that's what they're known for. We need to be known for something.
Yeah,
and that does come with development. And heck, if Donaldson sticks around, we could be known for running backs too. Something has to change, though. Something has to change. What that is, though, we will find out soon enough, I'm sure. That's the other thing, Caleb. The thing that I learned from this year, and I've learned over the past couple of years, is that, and I'm curious what you guys think in the chat about this too. So comment in the chat. So injury-wise, the staff is pretty quiet and they don't tell anyone. I'm fine with that. So the local community doesn't know really what's going on, and you really don't want the other team to game plan around certain things, right? If Mikey's injured, but he's going to be, you say it's a game time decision, and he's going to play, and you know it, that's fine. I'm cool with that. But then you have stuff like this year happen where you have Cam Lockridge. Clearly, something happened in the locker room between him and the coaching staff. Everyone saw it, and they know. But then they say he's dealing with personal issues. Okay, and maybe he is, I don't know. But it looks to me like something else is going on. And I haven't talked to you about this, Caleb, so this is the first time I'm bringing it up on the podcast and with you. But it seems to me like there is like a dark spirit over the football program this year. It seemed that way. And not because we're losing, like 6-6, not bad. We're going to go bowling. I mean, we may not go bowling, who knows, but a chance to go bowling. We beat San Jose State. There's things to be happy about. But it just seemed like it was weird. This weird dark spirit over the program. There's a lack of honesty about what has been going on. And I don't like that. Do you feel that at all, Caleb? And do you guys feel that at all?
I hadn't really thought about that. Yeah, I guess I can see it from multiple ways. I mean, I think that if the coaching staff is trying to protect a player and not let sensitive information be released and cover it up by saying he's injured or doing something else, I guess I can see that if they're trying to protect him, as a person. Yeah, I mean, I guess just the seeming like lack of discipline on this team. And I mean, maybe that's harsh to say, but just a lot of personal foul penalties that probably could be avoided with just some, more strict coaching or better self-control. I think that there's certainly a negative aspect that kind of clouded the season.
And, I think with me saying that I really want people to be honest. I think Cam should be honest too. Like if there's so much confusion going on, I think the local community, I think we kind of deserve to know what's going on. I don't like showing up the games. Like, what the heck where's Cam? What? Oh, personal issue. Well, what does that mean? And so if I'm calling people to be honest I want people to tell the truth. I need to be the first one to do that. So I'm going to share, Caleb, what we were told last year. After we had Cam Lockridge on the podcast, we were told by football staff that we were not allowed to have Cam Lockridge on again. That's what they told us. And I did not tell Cam that, so that he may find out through this. I don't know. But I was told we can't have Cam on. We cannot ask for Cam. Which I didn't like because I really enjoyed Cam. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed. And there's opportunities for kids, I think, with local companies. And we don't even make money, but I want to support kids. I want kids. I think there's a great opportunity for kids to come on, share their story on Beware Bulldogs, get the fan base behind them, and prepare them for the future, for interviews, for media, for talking to the media and things like that if they want to go to the NFL. And I say we're super relaxed and chill compared to the media and things like that. We're just two fans talking. But bros, I guess you could say. Is that not what they say now? I don't know. That's what I say, bros. And so for a program to tell other people, hey, you can't talk to him because we're worried about him getting in trouble. That's the reasoning behind it. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. And by the way, we do post editing. So if someone says, I don't want that in, I'm going to listen to them and I'm going to take it out. So, and we tell them that before. Right? So just being transparent with everybody, what we do when we sit down, we say, if you guys say anything that you don't want out there, tell us. It's going to take me a couple days to edit it. I'll cut it out. No problem. So, Caleb, I don't know. That's just a little bit, that's the Cam Lockridge. I don't know if that's an extreme, on the extreme end, but just for that it's happened, it kind of frustrates me. I think there's something going on that it's just, I don't like. I can't get behind that. So anyways, do you have any thoughts on that, or should we keep going?
Yeah, we keep moving. I mean, yeah, obviously we both personally like Cam a lot. We've spent some time with him, and hopefully he's able to make it at the next level, because it seems like he wants to continue playing football.
Yeah. Skip is a good dude, Nick says, but he's too nice. We need a coach that will yell at a player when they need to. I agree, Nick. I agree. At least we defeated San Jose in their last trip to Fresno and are going bowling, unlike San Diego State. Bulldogs Bob says. He also adds, we had the worst injury bug since 2019. It's almost a miracle that we got 6 wins. RD sucks that Phoenix Jackson is suffering. Yes, we're going to get to the transfer portal right after this. Daniel Edwards, who do you guys want as Fresno State head coach? Sorry if I missed it. Caleb, we haven't answered it. Who do you want?
Good question. We're over an hour in, so I'll make this joke now. In Skipper's postseason, interview with Classy, do you think he's going to have his little sidekick there with all the analytics with him, or does he have to do it solo?
I did not see that one coming. That's pretty good.
I don't know. So sorry, go ahead. I missed what you said.
No, he probably has him with him.
So I honestly, I'm really torn on Skipper because I could see some strength with this team remaining intact if he stays at the helm. But I think that there are some deficiencies with him, as a head coach. I think I get you want to have all your tools at your disposal, but having a dude in your ear the whole game, and it's on TV the whole game. I don't know. That's just not having a grip on situations. Maybe that's just because, he didn't have full preparation for the season and got thrown in at the last minute. Maybe you can speculate on that, but it's hard to have confidence in a coach that doesn't just have it all up here in his head and just knows what he wants to do. He's having to check with some random guy that what's his qualifications to be making these calls. So that's my main skepticism with Skipper. So honestly, I could go either way. I think that there's some stability if he stays, but it certainly needs an offensive overhaul, like we've belabored at this point.
This is really hard for me, Caleb. Who do I want? Who do I think it's going to be? I think it'll be Skip. Money wise, we don't have the money to pay coach.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be Skip, and then Skip's going to keep most of the people there. I do think that these guys aren't dumb. They see and hear what we're saying. I hope. And hopefully they're seeing the same things we see. Now, granted, I don't know if they are because, well, we will also watch the games. I think it's going to be Skip. Yeah, I don't have any other names other than that. If you guys have names, but the coaching carousel is going to be crazy in the next couple weeks because people are being let go. There's some OCs and DCs. Heck, as much as I dislike the Broncos, Kirby Moore was really good to us, and now I don't think he'd leave an SEC school to come be a head coach here. But who knows? We saw Kalen DeBoer do it. So,
I think that as long as the end result is we have an offensive leader that has his own identity and philosophy, I think that puts us in the best position moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. Robert, Lockridge situation is a disciplinary thing, in my opinion. I think Skip is letting him go out with respect on a personal situation. Probably. They just didn't want to put Cam on blast in the media, but you have to wonder what effects that has on his NFL future. Teams are going to want to know what the issue was. Yes, I agree. Coaches are in way over their heads, Robert says. Yes, this team lacks discipline. Coach really is a nice guy, but is he too nice? I think so, Gary. I think so. Daniel, I think Tedford also kept a lot of things in-house. At some point, I think it comes down to the player and the head coach. and I totally get why people keep things in-house. I understand. But when certain situations arise, I think there needs to be a justification for the things that they're doing. And Daniel asked, did Fresno State provide a justification as to why Cam can't come on the show? They just, I went back and looked in writing. I don't remember. I think we spoke in person. I didn't have anything in writing, but from what I can remember, is more along the lines of they're trying to look out for Cam. They're thinking they're looking out for Cam. We don't want Cam to get in trouble. So that I believe was the justification. Get the analytics guy on the show, Tim. Okay. Maybe Tedford comes back. No. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Beyond Skipper, I've heard Entaz Eck, the head coach of Idaho, and the head coach at Montana State. Okay. The linebackers coach at USC. I think Daniel was talking about Entz. I did see that too. Whoever's going to win, that's who I want. Whoever's going to win. And I said it, I think before the season started, Caleb, I'm kind of over the homegrown, like these guys are Bulldogs. I just want to win. I understand. I'm at peace now with being a stepping stone to the next bigger job. I'm at peace with that because if we just keep getting prodigies like Kalen DeBoer and Kirby Moore, please bring them in. Come on, let's get them. Let's win some games with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as the recruiting philosophy is to stay local and stay in California, then yeah, I am less bothered by hiring an outsider. I think that after DeRuyter and just going to Texas, which is funny because the players he brought in were actually really good. After he left and with all the DeRuyter holdovers, those were a couple of our best teams. So it's just kind of funny. But I think as long as the new guy understands the culture and tradition, I think that a good coach is going to be a good coach here. And I mean, it's not like Classy is from here. I mean, the dude's from Wisconsin and has been all over this country. But I mean, he claims to understand the culture and the values here and what we're trying to build. So I think that we just need to get the best coaching staff possible with our limited resources.
Yeah. Let's talk transfer portal. Let's get moving through this. Antoine Sullivan, wide receiver, entered the transfer portal. I haven't really seen him play, but he has entered the transfer portal. Justin Houston, he entered the transfer portal. I mean, you got to feel for the kid. He kept getting injured, didn't get much playing time this year. I get it. I would have liked to seen him play, though, in a Bulldog jersey because he showed a lot of potential. And then Phoenix Jackson, the big name that we've mentioned a couple times. Phoenix Jackson in the transfer portal. I mean, that really hurts. I mean, in total, if Phoenix Jackson leaves, because he could come back. Mm-hmm. I mean, Phoenix Jackson gone. Malachi Langley's done. Tuasivi Nomura's done. Lockridge, Clark, Bumgardner, Bridges, and Kosi Agina. 8 players that contributed on defense this year leaving. Mm-hmm. and that's really going to hurt. And in my opinion, Caleb, I think there could be more. But any thoughts on transfer portal?
Yeah, I mean, sucks about Phoenix. Hopefully, we can convince them to come back when the coaching staff is settled. Justin Houston, frankly, I'm kind of surprised that he stuck around this long, just knowing how sometimes guys end up just changing course after a couple injuries or if they're not getting playing time. So I was kind of surprised that he was still here, to be honest. But, I mean, he had a really good year. I think it was 21. It was either 20 or 21. Right? I mean, he was the starting nickel, and he was a really good contributor for the defense. So, yeah, hopefully he can get healthy and, find a place to get some playing time.
Back to the UCLA game really quick, Caleb. Play of the game. Do you have a play of the game? I mean, we averaged 30 yards per possession. We punted 7 out of 10 possessions. You got to play for it?
I mean, I guess maybe the reverse to Mac with Wood at quarterback. I mean, that was actually a creative play. Usually I'm anti-reverse because it usually just doesn't work for us. But that one worked. I think he got like 20 yards. So I think that was a good play call. I mean, Raylan Sharp's touchdown catch was a really nice catch. So I think in terms of making a difficult play, probably the Sharp touchdown.
Yeah, there was Phoenix Jackson had a sack that came at a good time that I really liked. I can't really much about a play other than the reverse to Mac. Probably I would pick. Play, you got to play. Is it worth picking a play? I mean, excuse me, player.
I mean, we probably have to go defense. I mean, they're the only reason why this team is still in this game. I mean, number of tackles, Alzilian, led the team. I guess with Dean, they both had 10. But, I mean, I think without Phoenix, this is probably a different game just because he made some really big impact plays. So, probably got to go with Phoenix.
Yep, I'm going Phoenix. 8 total tackles, 4 solos. He did get a sack, 2 pass deflections. And he made a huge difference in this game. And he was basically spying Garbers, their quarterback, the whole time. Yeah, that's really I can't really think of anybody else to give it to. Anything else, Caleb, that we should touch on that I didn't, or something I forgot that what we should have?
I think we pretty much covered it. Hopefully we get some answers or indications of when a new coach is going to be named. I mean, sooner rather than later. I mean, signing day is this week. The portal, I think, is opening, maybe a week from today or something like that. So, definitely a critical week here for Mr. Classy and President Sandoval, and hopefully they can come up with the best game plan going forward for this program.
We are projected to go to the Arizona Bowl, I believe. I would love to go bowling, Caleb. There's a lot of teams on the bubble that there's a couple teams that are 6-6 and they're not going to go bowling. Do you think we have a good case to go bowling?
Well, only one win is against FCS, so I think that's really the maximum. I think if you have more than that, then you have to win 7 games. So, yeah, I think we're decent. I mean, we're in good position considering we finished 4th in our conference. So, I think top 4 teams from the conference should get a shot to play in the postseason. So, Arizona Bowl would be a benefit or better than Albuquerque. I feel like I trash on Albuquerque a lot here, but that's just a tough trip, and fans aren't going to go there. Tucson's a little bit closer and potentially drivable. It's a long drive, but I think better chance that we actually get some fans traveling to support these guys, and hopefully we don't get a ton of opt-outs. I know, in the past this team has been pretty good about keeping the core together and getting the guys to play through the bowl game. So hopefully that's the case here too.
Yeah, I would love to see us go to the Arizona Bowl. Keep it sort of close, drivable, like you said, and I think it's more projected to play Bowling Green. Is that what I saw? Is that correctly? I don't. Maybe some things have changed.
Yeah, I know it's a MAC matchup, so
Right.
I know that Bowling Green's in the MAC, so that's a possibility.
Yeah. Catching everybody up on basketball, they lost to Cal Baptist in a crazy double overtime game. I think that was the 27th. And then also that day, women's volleyball lost to San Diego State in the Mountain West tournament 3-1. You know what's crazy, Caleb?
Hmm.
Is that Fresno State basketball offense is more fun to watch than the Fresno State football offense. When was the last time we said that?
That's certainly a change this year. I mean, they're putting up a lot of points, also giving up a lot of points. So, I mean, that's, I guess, the potential trade-off that maybe you have just to have a more exciting product.
Yeah. I mean, the scoring in this game was ridiculous. And if you guys haven't watched the basketball team yet, highly recommend it. Extremely fun. Like, college basketball has been so fun to start. Zayon Collins only had 10 points, but they're going back and forth. Elijah Price against Cal Bap had 16. He had a 3, chucked one up at the end there, went in, and I mean it was wild. But Amar Aguilar, as we say, Count Aguilar. You've seen A Knight's Tale, you'll get it. He led the team with 26 points. And this team's fun. We just got to be able to stop people. Like we just have small guards. We're pretty small, and even our bigs are kind of small. And we have more Sek from Hawaii. He only played 19 minutes against Cal Bap. He's 7 feet tall, but we're playing like Alex Crawford at the big. Michael Robinson has been. Elijah Price has been playing big a little bit. I mean, so just defensively, we just don't match up well, but we play extremely hard and we can score points. So it's fun.
And we have a tough conference matchup coming up on Wednesday. I mean, what's the outlook against the Aztecs?
Oh, dude. I mean, the Aztecs are good. They just beat Houston. I think Houston is like top 10 in the country. San Diego State just beat them. But it's at the Save Mart Center. So we should be there. It's going to be I hope it's packed, man. I would love to see the Save Mart Center packed. I don't think ever in my lifetime I've seen it packed. But that is Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. I'm going to try and make this game. It's on FS1 at the Save Mart Center. It should be a lot of fun. I think this is really going to be a good way to gauge the team on how we stack up to the country. So, I mean, San Diego State and Nevada, great Mountain West basketball team. So is Boise State. So I'm really curious to see how we match up against them and how we play. Women's basketball has been playing too. We beat UT Martin today in overtime, I believe. And then we did play the number 1 team in the country, UCLA, and we got whooped. That was Saturday. We lost 97-41. But so that's how we stack up against the rest of the country in women's basketball. On the 4th, Wednesday, we'll find out in men's. It's going to be a good game. Save Mart Center. So we got the number 1 team. Did we get UCLA in the Save Mart Center too? Women's basketball?
Yeah.
No. That was in the deal in Hawaii. Okay, got it. So, we got basketball and women's basketball, men's and women's playing this week. So we'll keep up with that. We'll be talking about basketball and transfer portal and recruiting and all of that in the future. I fell behind on the chat. Sorry, guys. I did see. I caught Nathan's. What's going on, Nathan? Flew in from Louisiana to watch us lose to UCLA. Oof. So, all right. Caleb, I guess we should get out of here and help our wives put the kids to bed.
Yep.
Hey, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him, Jesus Christ, shall not perish, but have eternal life. Hope you guys have a great week. You guys want to talk more about Fresno State sports in general, Monday Night Football, Jesus, Follow us on socials. Our personals are right here, over there. And you can follow us on Instagram, Beware Bulldogs Podcast, and X, Beware_Bulldogs. Subscribe. Tell one friend for us, please. That would be really nice. And we will talk to you guys soon. We're going to put together a schedule and we'll release it. We'll let you guys know for basketball. We're going to try and keep up to date with basketball. You're going to hear a lot more from us as the week progresses. All right. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And as always,
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.